Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Choda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Thank you so much for being a viewer. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. In this video, I'll give you the latest status of where stimulus negotiations stand right now. I'll give you the best case scenario. I'll also give you the not so good scenario. They have still not come to an agreement, and this is where things stand right now. Burgess Everett, who's a co-congressional bureau chief for Politico, reported that when John Thune, the Republican from South Dakota, he's a number 2 Republican after the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. When he was asked, are we likely to see a deal today? He said, and I quote, that would be a triumph of hope over experience to get that today. It would be a best case scenario. Best case scenario of getting something voted on is probably going to be Sunday or later. Keep in mind that they have still not come to an agreement, still not come to a consensus about this negotiation. And if the government is not funded past Monday, it's going to be a massive failure on the part of the government. Remember, we are in the middle of a deadly pandemic. We have millions of our fellow Americans who are on unemployment, going hungry, experiencing hunger for the first time. And if the government is not funded past Monday, thousands of people are dying each day. The paralysis of the government, it'll just go to a whole new level. John Thune again said he's a number 2 Senate Republican after Mitch McConnell. John Thune said he does not believe there will be a deal today, and he said he had hoped for a Sunday vote, but he said it might end up being later than that. He assumes that they'll try and pass a stopgap funding bill. In other words, they'll kick the can down the road by a couple of days, but it's going to be pretty hard. Now, if you thought that was shocking, here's something else that's a little bit shocking. Remember, in the original version of the stimulus bill, $300 a week unemployment was supposed to be 16 weeks. And after that, they brought it down to 10 weeks in order to accommodate $600 stimulus checks. Well, guess what? 10 weeks of unemployment benefits at $300 a week is still not fully locked in, because the Republicans want to try and phase that out. Republicans want to try and phase out those stimulus benefits. And Democrats are like, no. Everybody should get the benefits. Republicans also said those who get the unemployment benefits should not get the $600 a week stimulus checks. But Democrats said, no. They should get both. So Democrats have been pushing for more. House Speaker Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell did speak today at 1 p.m. East Coast time. They did speak today, and they agreed that the staff did need to close out the agreement in the next 3 to 4 hours. So that, by the way, is the best case scenario. The best case scenario is that we get an agreement announced in the next 3 to 4 hours, and then they vote on something this weekend. That would be the best case scenario. It is crunch time. The floor of the House has been recessed until 5 p.m. East Coast time today. And a shutdown is going to happen at midnight. Now, keep in mind that Pat Toomey, Republican from Pennsylvania, basically proposed that the emergency lending powers of the Federal Reserve be curtailed going forward, even more so now than they were during the CARES Act, which would make it, according to Democrats, that would make it more difficult for President-elect Biden to use the Federal Reserve to inject liquidity into the economy. So the Democrats are saying, hey, why are you including that stuff into this negotiation? But the Republicans are saying, hey, we've wanted that from day one. Let's include it now. So you can start to see, I've mentioned this analogy before. When you go to a garage sale, somebody wants to sell something for $20 and you want to buy it for 10, and you haggle for maybe 5 minutes and then you end up buying it for 15. They're haggling over $2.4 trillion. $1.4 trillion is the government spending money, the government funding money, and $900 billion is the money for the stimulus. So they're still arguing, everybody. They're still arguing. And Steny Hoyer, who's the House Majority Leader, and he's the number 2 Democrat after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, said, I just got off the phone with the Speaker, who just got off the phone with Senator McConnell, because House Speaker Pelosi spoke with Mitch McConnell at 1 p.m. and then House Speaker Pelosi spoke with Steny Hoyer. Steny Hoyer said, we are hoping in the next 3 hours we'll have a clearer picture of where we are. And basically, Steny Hoyer said, when he was talking about the House, he said that I would urge them to keep tonight free, tomorrow free, Sunday free, and such days thereafter as we may need, and I hope that we do not need any of those days. I would urge all of them to keep their schedule free when he's talking about individuals coming to vote. Right now, as we speak, the House is in recess, subject to being called back, and is expected to be in session around 5 p.m. And so this gives the 4 lead negotiators until 5 p.m. East Coast time today to possibly reach an agreement. If by 5 p.m. East Coast time they reach an agreement, we could see a vote on the floor of the House today. Okay, we could. But it's likely that we see a vote on the floor of the House sometime in the next 48 hours. So they're still arguing, they're still going back and forth, everybody. And what is a little astonishing is that they're still arguing in the middle of a pandemic on the eve of a government funding deadline. And John Thune, again, the number 2 Senate Republican, said this to the staff writer at The Hill, Alex Bolton. He said, kind of the same place, no progress. That's what he said. So what's interesting is the number 2 Senate Republican says no progress, whereas others say progress. The government is supposed to shut down at midnight. Republicans, like I said, want to include language to phase out unemployment benefits gradually. That's what they want to include. And like I said, Pat Toomey, the Republican from Pennsylvania, wants to limit the lending powers of the Federal Reserve, and the Democrats are like, no, we won't let you do that. So that's actually what is happening right now. And just a lot of stuff going on right now as we speak. And I'm hoping they come to some sort of a consensus. Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, the Republican from Wisconsin, spoke on the floor of the Senate today and said, all this debt that we are building up as a country, he said, we are mortgaging our children's future. And he was responding to Josh Hawley, Republican from Missouri, who asked for $1,200 stimulus checks. So you can see Republicans arguing with Republicans in an effort to get this all sorted out. And the Democrats are claiming that Pat Toomey, the Republican from Pennsylvania, is blowing up the stimulus talks. They said that an agreement was already ready to deliver aid to the American people until Senator Toomey and Republicans inserted a last-minute political unrelated provision to tie Biden's hands and risk throwing the economy into a tailspin. And they said the Toomey provision, basically Toomey does not want more lending from the Federal Reserve and he wants to limit it. And Democrats are saying the Toomey provision could endanger the whole stimulus deal and would be an unprecedented change to the law to strip the Fed chair of one of the most important tools to quickly respond to future economic crisis. And guys, they should be coming to a consensus now, but what's happening is the last minute haggling. Now, let me give all of you the bottom line. The bottom line is don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. I still believe something is highly likely to happen. However, there is some last minute haggling going on right now as we speak. And keep in mind that, if the government funding deadline is extended, that is not a good thing. Here's why. On the 26th of December, unemployment benefits expire for 12 million of our fellow Americans. For 12 million of our fellow Americans on the PUA program, on the PEUC program, unemployment benefits expire. So a government funding extension, a temporary sort of extension for government funding would simply delay the process of getting everything continued, because there needs to be legislation for all that to continue. The eviction moratorium ends on the 31st of December. 30 million of our fellow Americans are at risk for eviction. Paid leave credit ends at the end of this month. So and here's some brand new information as I'm recording this video. The Senate Majority Leader, this is brand new information, the Senate Majority Leader has hotlined, in other words, he said, let's do it, a 2-day government funding bill to avoid a shutdown tonight. So listen to this. They have still not come to an agreement on the stimulus. But they have they are now working on a two-day government funding bill to avoid a shutdown tonight. This means that, so what does hotlining mean? This, because a majority leader hotline something. Hotlining means that the Senate majority leader is checking to see if there's any opposition to passing it by unanimous consent. So let me give you guys the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. Number one, don't lose hope. I do believe we'll see a stimulus package. Number two, best case scenario, we hear of an agreement in the next 2 to 3 hours and they vote on it on Sunday. The president signs it on Monday and it's a done deal. Not so good scenario, they continue talking into next week. They continue haggling. By the way, the Democrats believe the longer they haggle, the longer this gets pushed back, the more Republicans will try and reduce the stimulus check, raise the threshold for the stimulus check, raise the threshold for the $300 a week benefits, shorten the duration of the $300 a week unemployment benefits, and also introduce a gradual phase out of the $300 a week unemployment benefits. Right now, nothing is set. Right now, all we know is that they are still talking, they're still haggling, but we still could hear something. Again, that's the best case scenario. There is a reason that the House is on recess. That's because they are still talking. Right now, as I'm recording this video, the 4 lead negotiators, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer from the Democrat side, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and the House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy from the Republican side are talking. They are talking. I'm assuming that the U.S. Secretary Steve Mnuchin, because he represents the White House, is also going to be on the phone, is going to be joining them in the meeting. But right now, they have not come to a consensus, and that is where things stand, everybody. We're still going back and forth with all of this stuff. And that is the update for everyone. I appreciate you watching. Let me take a quick look at some of your comments and see if there are any comments that I can answer or participate in. But right now we just have to wait and see what happens, everybody. So if you have any specific questions, please type them out into the comment section below. Listen, I want you to know, I understand the suffering of everyone out there. I understand, and you know, this is Congress. I'm reporting the news as it happens, but here what we are looking at right now is a 2-day government funding extension. But please have some hope. Have some hope, because a stimulus deal, we are on the verge of a stimulus deal. So have some hope, even though it's a bit delayed. You know, I'm confident that it will get done. It's just unfortunate that it still continues to drag on, leaving many of us hanging. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. Please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I appreciate you all. Please click the like button. Please share this video with just 2 friends or family members. All I ask, if you learn something new, please share this video with 2 friends or family members. I promise you that I will release a video as soon as we know more, as soon as we have confirmation. I'll break down what's in it, what's not in it, what the limitations are, who gets $300 a week, who gets the stimulus checks, when you'll get it, what the thresholds are. I'll break down everything. All I ask is you please click like, click subscribe, please enable notifications. Please do that. I would really appreciate that. And please share this video with 2 friends and family members. So that's where things stand right now, everybody. I'll keep you posted. I appreciate you all. Yeah, you're right. It is. I saw a comment that said this is unacceptable madness. I actually think you're being very polite. I think unacceptable madness is a polite way to say it. Before this video, before I went live, you know how I was? I was like this. That's how I was at the start of this video. But that's where we are, everybody. I will keep you posted. I appreciate you all. I will keep you posted. I'll give you the truth wherever the truth might lead us. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.